Hello, Aries and Aries Rising. My name's Eric Francis Compolino, your astrologer, editor of Planet Waves, and host of Planet Waves FM, here with the Pluto in a Strange Land reading for Aries. And those of you who are Aries Rising and friends of Aries who might be listening to this. I'm actually going to be covering transits going on in at least 4, maybe 5 different houses, but I'm going to focus mostly on the theme of Pluto in Aquarius. And the theme of Pluto in Aquarius has to do with the way that our social patterns in our society have been completely absorbed by, taken over by, and in a sense encrypted into the digital realm. So we are now living digital lives, doing almost every last thing that we do, having some contact with the internet. Even an ordinary phone call is pretty much a digital experience. And so we have almost no facet of our lives that are not completely stitched into the digital environment. And what this has done is has transformed us and transformed society. And if you're wondering what all of the chaos and aggression is about, it is the product of people being disembodied, forgetting who they are, and using aggression to find out who they are. It's a sad fact of all of this new media and persistent disembodiment and this kind of mandatory tribalization that has occurred in the course of our lifetimes, and which really goes back to the telegraph in the middle of the 19th century, but nobody really knew what was happening except for all the wars that were basically going on. Immediately, the Civil War followed the advent of the telegraph, and so every time there's one of these profound changes in technological power, society is completely rearranged. And the rearrangement that we are seeing is this real struggle for individuality, and that means a struggle for self-worth. Now, of the 4 signs I'm going to cover, I was trying to figure it out on the way over here. By the way, I'm working in the Broadway Lights Diner in Kingston, New York, where they have these very nice window arrangements and mirrors to make an interesting field of view without being too distracting. We're going to talk about events in Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries, and I have to mention Taurus, and then Mars is in Gemini, but they're all working together and all pretty much responsible for one effect. And what's useful, helpful, you don't really have a choice, with Aries is we're going to start with Aries because this is where there is a tremendous amount of emphasis and energy right now, and in a sense an answer to the depersonalizing, dehumanizing, tribe-forming quality of the digital realm. The only answer to that is some form of self-actualization, some form of waking up to who you are, of being very comfortable with your existence and your identity on a level that is almost cellular, where you this is not about any specific fact of your life or any fact of the condition of your life or your personal history. The best way I can describe it is simply waking up to who you are. And when it happens, it feels simple, and it feels like, why didn't I see this? How didn't I notice this? How did I not do this previously? And the way that shows up in your chart is that you have in Aries, which essentially is the first significator for who you are, tremendous emphasis right now in your sign. It is really a fireworks display going on, and I'll show you here on the chart. I'm going to reuse the inner space charts. Okay, it's the first time I'm putting a chart up on the screen in my super high-tech version of things. All right, here's Aries. This first house here in this setup, and so in Aries right now, there is Salacia, Chiron. Salacia is about waking up to your sexuality. Chiron is about generally healing. Come on, wait, hold on. There we go. Generally about healing and self-awakening, which can come with a crisis. Jupiter is here as well. I mentioned Eris, and then also just let's add in Venus there, because Venus is now very close to a conjunction to Eris. Of course, there's other things as well, but there's this rare collection of planets. Lights, please. Hello. Okay. There's this rare collection of planets going on in Aries right now that are stirring the pot and provoking you and giving you opportunities and giving you access to facets of yourself that you may not have even been aware existed. And this may not be an entirely comfortable experience, but there is that moment in any, or perhaps a repeated series of moments in any self-actualization process where you just get it and you understand that you have to relax into your existence, again, having nothing to do with any special topic of your existence, but just relax into your existence and enter a kind of a unity with yourself that is, in a sense, belied by all of the splits that are fomented by all of these influences that are trying to make us hate ourselves and judge ourselves, and family history and history of assault and attack and all that we've been through and the collection of all the traumas that we have been through. All of that has a way of melting in these moments of self-awareness that are kind of, I think, what the Course in Miracles is talking about when it, or one version of it, when it describes what in its terms is the holy instant. You become yourself. You awaken to yourself. Now, the reality of the journey in between those moments is there's a lot of work to be done, and there's a lot of inner awareness that needs to be cultivated. And I think something that is crucial and one of the major themes of astrology is cultivating your inner authority, cultivating your sense that you know something about your existence that no one and no one else knows. It's a relationship that you share with whatever you consider to be your higher power, God or the Holy Spirit or whatever is working through you, your guardian angels. But it's best to not separate that too far from yourself, but to recognize that there is an aspect of your consciousness that never lost contact with Source ever, despite this dream of being in a body and being in an ego that we're living. You are in a constant connection to Source. And the moments of self-realization and the moments of self-actualization are when you wake up to something that is true anyway, all the time. So these different influences are involved in this process. And again, the ones that I'm tracking here, and let's add Venus in there. So Salacia is very important because Salacia covers the absolutely necessary sexual aspect of self-realization. It doesn't matter how old you are or what you've been through or how you think you feel about sex, your values about sex or your sexual orientation. There is that seed element in the consciousness of every person that knows that our existence is the product of sexual reality. And that is a facet of consciousness that is often stuffed and buried and, put below the surface. But Salacia is calling us to at least awaken to that and to be with that.